Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel for some decluttering and organizing motivation. I have been on kind of a journey this year decluttering and organizing my older son's bedroom. As he gets older and his interests change, I've got to keep going in there and swapping things around and getting rid of things. So that is what we are focusing on again today. So far this year, I have decluttered his wardrobe. I've gone through all of the toys that were in his room, emptied most of them out since he's no longer playing with most of them, and taken out bulky furniture pieces that we didn't need anymore. So his room is rather small, but with all the work that we've done, it's starting to feel bigger. If you are looking for organizing ideas and organizing motivation, then you've come to the right place because I post new organizing and decluttering videos every single week here on my channel. So if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe and also hit your notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Today, I'm taking you along on the whole journey of decluttering and organizing my son's bedroom. I think this is the final part to this series, at least for now. I'm sure there's more I'll have to do in the future, but I feel like we finally reached a really good place for his room. It's taken quite some time, but again, I think we're finally in a good place. So we're starting off by tidying up his room. I feel like I can't really get into the project until his room is generally tidied and things are kind of put together in categories, or at least where they usually go. This drawer underneath Carson's bed collects dust and cat fur so quickly, so I wanted to empty it out and vacuum it out and then also go through everything that was being stored in there. Carson is very into collecting sports cards, so I knew I wanted to put the things back in there that were sport card related for him, but then there were a bunch of papers that I wanted to go through and figure out what was trash or what we needed to keep. If it were up to Carson, I would keep every single one of his drawings that he's ever done, but I try to be mindful because he draws so much that we physically cannot keep all of them. So I go through them, try and find the ones that I think he'd be the most upset about if I got rid of, the ones that are really good, and put those aside. And then any of like the doubles or the ones that are barely colored, I will go ahead and get rid of those because he probably is not going to notice. I organized this bookshelf in a previous video where I was going through Carson's room, and it's worked out really well for us. Everything is in a category in all of these different squares on the bookshelf, but things were getting a little bit unorganized, so I just wanted to quickly go through all the books and make sure they were in their right spots. For the most part, they were fine, but it just needed a little bit of tidying up. I really like this bookshelf for a small space. I think it utilizes the space really well. This one came from Target, and I will have it linked in my description box if you are interested. Now we're going to go through and declutter the surface of his bookcase. A lot of this just needed to be put back where it belongs, but some of it was trash. One thing that I really wanted to do was help Carson come up with an organization system for his sports cards. So he asked me to remove all of the stickers from these drawers that were in his closet so that we could replace them with the correct labels. And we're going to work together actually to organize all of his cards. It was really important to me that I involved Carson in this process for a couple of reasons, but probably the number one reason is that this is his bedroom and I want to make sure that he's happy with it and that he likes where everything is going. At the end of the day, his room is not meant to be aesthetically pleasing. It's a almost 6-year-old boy's bedroom, and this is his space in our home, and I just want to make sure that he is happy with his space. But before we could work on that project together, he was at school when I was filming this portion, so I just wanted to finish going through the closet and then vacuum out all of the drawers so they were clean and ready for him to organize his cards. The majority of the things on Carson's bed were things that I was decluttering, so I'm just going through that to officially decide what we're getting rid of or what just needs to be put away. Now I'm just going to quickly mop and vacuum the floors so that they are clean. They were just looking a little bit rough after pulling everything out of all of the drawers in his room. When Carson got home from school, we started organizing all of his cards together. So I found that I had a bunch of bamboo organizers left over from a kitchen organization video, and they fit perfectly into these drawers. They're adjustable, so it just worked out great, and he was really excited about doing this. So what we did was I took out a notepad and we just wrote what he wanted in each drawer. He came up with all the labels himself, and I just stuck them on the drawers so that I knew where everything was going to go. And then I'm actually going to pull out my Cricut Joy to make new labels the next day. But this is what all of his drawers were looking like. He worked really hard on this, and he's been so happy with having everything organized out and in categories. I don't know how long you guys have been watching my channel, but it's still so crazy to me that when I first started YouTube, Carson was pretty much a baby. He was still in a crib, and now here we are organizing his big boy bedroom and organizing all of his sports cards. It's just so wild how fast time flies. And I never really show him in my videos anymore because I am usually filming when he's at school. So if you've missed seeing Carson, here he is. He's a big boy now. It's so crazy. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys that he was involved in this process and how well he did at organizing all of his cards. Now I'm pulling out my Cricut Joy so that we can make labels for all the drawers in his closets. I've talked about my Cricut Joy a million times. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing about it, but it's still just my favorite organization product. I love that I can make labels so quickly and easily just using my phone. I just use the Cricut Joy app. They have a quick labels option, and it takes like 5 minutes of your time and you get professional, nice quality labels. I especially like the writable vinyl for labels because they're just easier to me than cutting out each individual letter and then having to use transfer tape and all that. This just cuts out quite a few steps by doing it this way. So yeah, highly recommend the Cricut Joy. It's my favorite when it comes to organizing, and I always have it linked in my Amazon storefront, which is in the description box of my videos. If you're really intimidated by a Cricut machine, this is a really good place to start because it's very user-friendly and easy, and it's a lot more affordable. Now we're going to take all of these post-it notes off of the drawers and put our stickers on. Carson picked again what he wanted for each label. So he's got a special drawer just for Tom Brady. He's got a basketball drawer, a football drawer. He even has one that says for sale because him and his dad like to try and sell cards that they don't really enjoy on eBay. Now it is time for some laundry motivation. I had really been bad about folding laundry for a couple of weeks. I'm ashamed to say it. It's just who I am as a person, but I'm going to tackle it today and we're going to organize all of Carson's drawers. Like I said earlier, I did a wardrobe declutter for him, so there really wasn't much that I needed to get rid of when I was folding all this laundry. But I did want to organize all of his drawers nicely, and I figured that I would include that motivation in today's video. Since filming this video, we have done a little bit of decorating in Carson's room as well. We got him a display case for all of his favorite sports cards, and of course he picked all Tom Brady cards to go in there, so that was kind of funny. But that's hanging on his wall, and then I also made him some shelves. I don't know if you guys have been watching my channel since he was a baby, but I used to have shelves in his room that we had stained the wood, and we had pipes that we used to hang the shelf, like brackets. And I loved those, but then we moved into our apartment and I just never hung them up, but I've kept them all this time, and I finally decided that I wanted to get that done. So we stained a new set of shelves since his old ones were a little bit too dark, but we kept the piping and everything else and we hung them up, and they look so good, and I'm just absolutely obsessed with them, and I'm really happy that I finally got around to doing that. I am folding all of Carson's clothes using the filing method. This is my preferred method of folding. I like the way it looks in the drawers, and when you open the drawer and you can see everything without digging around. I really like that, but I don't always do it. Sometimes I just don't have the time to fold everything just so perfectly. If you are wondering where the heck all my cleaning videos have gone and why I've been posting only organizing and decluttering on this channel, it's because I recently started a second channel just for cleaning. The YouTube algorithm kind of pushed me to do this, so I'm just seeing how it goes. And if you haven't seen that new channel, I will have it linked in my description box down below. There's already like 5 or 6 videos over there, so if you missed them, be sure to catch up. Now we're going to get started on putting everything away into his drawers. So starting with his pajama drawer, there were a few pairs that were unfolded and just laying in there that I wanted to fix up and then get the rest put away. I had to fix pretty much every single drawer as I was going because it had been a while since I had done this, so things were definitely a little bit unorganized, and also there just wasn't enough clothes in the drawers to keep them all standing up. I would love to know in the comments how long you have kept clothes in the trunk of your car that you meant to donate, because I think I've had a bag of clothes in the back of my car we're probably approaching a year now that it's been sitting in there, and I have not donated it yet, so please let me know that I'm not alone. I had to pick up Carson some new socks this day because, as usual, we had no socks left, and the ones that we did have left had massive holes in them. I've tried every different brand for socks and they all end up looking like this. Like, look at how bad this is. They all get ripped up, and I've heard that it could be the LVP flooring we have through the house that for some reason wears down the socks, but it's crazy. So I had to buy him a whole new pack once again. And now we are going to go through his closet and do some more decluttering. These drawers on the back of the door came from the Container Store, but they do sell something very similar. It has the exact same dimensions as this one at Target, and it's like half the price. It was $60, and then I think a whole bunch of you went out and bought it when I mentioned it in my last video, and Target raised the price to $75 last I checked. So I will leave that linked down below if it's still in stock, but it is a great deal because it is a lot less expensive than the one at the Container Store. Now that we've gone through all of the bins in his closet, I'm going to take things off of his dresser that have just been kind of taking up space and put them in that organization system since there wasn't much in it. And I'm also going to go through his art cart. We got this art cart from Michael's. It was actually a pretty good deal. I can't remember how much I paid for it now, but it's great for storing all of his art supplies. It does, however, get a little bit out of control as time goes on, so I'm just taking everything out of it so I can organize it and put everything back where it belongs and get rid of anything that we no longer need. We used to store this in our kitchen. We have a closet next to our fridge that it fit in perfectly, but I felt like we really needed that storage space for other things in our kitchen. So I've recently started keeping this in Carsons' room, and it fits perfectly kind of in the corner next to his dresser. And I've also noticed that ever since I put it into his room, when I get up in the morning, he's already up and he's coloring in his room, and I just think that's really cute. It's also helped to cut down on the clutter that's on our kitchen island all the time. He does still bring things out to color out there, which I prefer. I don't want him just trapped in his room all day coloring by himself. I'd so much rather he comes out and joins the family and colors at the island. But just keeping these things in his room has definitely helped to cut down on how much is on our island all the time. Now I'm just breaking out my Tinco again to try and clean this area out. It was a little bit dusty, and then super random, but I wanted to update his Melissa and Doug calendar that he keeps in that corner. He hadn't updated it in a while. It was still in like April and the weather said it was cold, and so I just wanted to update it for him. Now that we've gotten most of the excess clutter off of his dresser and off of the surfaces in his room, I'm going to arrange his dresser to just look a little bit cuter and also wipe it down. And now on his dresser is the next round of things that I needed to get rid of. I was able to declutter so much out of his room. It feels like such a breath of fresh air. But now, speaking of fresh air, I noticed that his window tracks were very dirty, especially in this window. So I wanted to try and clean them out. I tried using my husband's hand vacuum to just get some of the dirt out initially, but it really didn't do much. You can see here it was very, very dirty. It was gross. So I decided to pull out my Bissell Steam Shot. I actually tried using the Steam Shot very recently to clean the window tracks in my kitchen, and I made a reel about that over on my Instagram. If you're not following me over there, I always have that on the screen at some point in my videos and also in my description box. Anyway, I tried to use it on my window tracks in my kitchen, and I felt like it was not doing much that day. But I thought maybe I just did something wrong. I don't know. I was hoping it would work better today. So I tried it again. And while I do think this helps to just loosen up some of the dirt particles, it really doesn't do all that much, in my opinion. I don't know if maybe mine's just broken or if I'm doing something wrong, like I said, but it wasn't really helping all that much. And if anything, it was just kind of spraying dirt all over the room. So I kept kind of going back and forth between using my multi-purpose cleaner and a towel to wipe it down and then trying the steam shot again. But overall, the steam shot really didn't do what I was hoping that it was going to do. It didn't make this process really all that much easier. I would say again that it helped just kind of like loosen up the dirt particles, but I was a little bit underwhelmed. I spent a while cleaning this and it still doesn't come out perfect, which you'll see in a minute, but I did the best that I could. I don't really like putting my fingers into like the crevices of the window tracks in case there's like, I don't know, spiders or some kind of gross bug or something. So I didn't really get in there as well as I was hoping that I would. But again, I did the best that I could, and you'll see in a second it does look a lot better, but it's not perfect. This is the mess that it left behind. Like I said, it kind of just sprayed dirt all over the place using the steam shot. So again, I pulled out my Tenco wet dry vac to clean up the floors. And then once the floors are clean, I'm just going to show you guys some afters, how the room is looking after doing all the decluttering. It always feels so good to get the extra clutter out of our home. I know Carson is very happy that all of the things that he wants are in his room and all of the things that he doesn't want are no longer in his room. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it gave you some motivation to tackle an organization or a decluttering project around your own home. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new and turn your notification bells on so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll come back again next week for another video.